This is the story of Studio 54. Every night, the most famous people in the land showed up to join in this unbridled insanity.
Get pissed drunk if you want to.
And there'd be a lot of sort of spectacles.
Out here because there's a party.
We're talking about a single pop culture phenomenon that dominated its particular time.
And never before had the most famous people in the world flocked to where they would so publicly mingle with the anonymous.
Steve certainly went totally crazy.
Then one day, the boys went too far, and the fun stopped. But on February 28, 1980, 1 month after Steve and Ian went away, Studio 54's liquor license expired. It would not be renewed in the name of 2 convicted felons, so Studio 54 closed for 15 months.
A potential new owner, Mark Fleischman, was waiting in the wings.
Mark Fleischman was a respectable hotel owner who had been granted liquor licenses in New York State before.
After an 18-month legal battle with the state liquor authority, Studio 54 was finally given the green light. Armed with a new liquor license, Fleischman was ready to reopen the club. With a new cast in place, Mark Fleischman was ready to reintroduce the club back into New York City nightlife. On September 15th, 1981, Fleischman threw an opening night celebration that rivaled the days of the old studio. Even some of the most celebrated guests of studios past had problems at the door. In order to rejuvenate the club, Fleischman threw a series of parties for the next 30 days straight. As Fleischman slowly added his own touches, he made a significant and controversial change to the club. He brought in party promoters. Each promoter was responsible for bringing in a certain crowd on specified nights. As the old studio crowd contended with the changes to the club, they also watched a transformation in New York City nightlife. The era of sexual freedom was coming to an end. In 1982, a deadly sexually transmitted disease emerged that would forever alter the night world.
AIDS changed everything.
In 1985, Studio 54's second owner, Mark Fleischman, decided he had had enough.
Like a monument looking for its lost time, the building at 254 West 54th Street passed obscurely between a few more owners and closed for good as a seedy strip joint. Mark Fleischman went on to open numerous nightclubs in New York and Los Angeles.
New York at 11.
Have you been to Tattoos yet?
Tattoo? The plane!
No. This is the Oh So Hot Manhattan nightclub.
Okay. Sorry.
Catherine Kinley is there right now, live.
It's called Tattoo, and it's owned by the former owner of Studio 54 back in the early 80s, Mark Fleischman. And just what makes Tattoo the hot club du jour, shall we say? Well, maybe it's because it's basically an old-fashioned supper club with great jazz, like you hear behind me from the likes of artists such as Wild Bill Davis. And, well, maybe it's because in 5 minutes, this is what it becomes. Well, I guess you could say variety is the spice of life here at Tattoo, and it has all the prerequisites of a hot club, limos, and people waiting in line outside who may never get in.
This is CNN.
Fleischman bought and reopened the mecca of the disco era, Studio 54, in 1981.
Be entertained, they want to feel good.
And his new place, Tattoo, is packed.
I'll play a little bit. We're just going to try to make this up as we go along. There's been no practice, and we're just sort of winging it. But the deal is these people are supposed to cover for me if I'm really bad. That's what presidents try to get people to do, too. Okay. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for your support.